you very much, sir, for giving me this opportunity. Good evening, Miss Surina. Am I correct in
Yes.
pronouncing your name?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
Okay, Miss. I think we are so happy that we got this opportunity because as Sri Lanka and all the teachers, we are also struggling now with this current situation. First of all, I would like to introduce to our participant, Miss Surina. Miss Surina is a principal of Galaxy Public School of Nepal. And today, Miss Surina is going to talk to us about work ethics for teachers. Over to you, Miss. Thank you.
Thank you, Shiromi ji. It's a wonderful opportunity. First of all, I'd like to personally thank Mr. Janaka Kamal Goda, who has been running a successful institute, South Asian International Institute of Higher Education in Sri Lanka. And basically, what I see from my perspective is he's especially not only working for the teacher students, but actually he's really working for the whole country, that is Sri Lanka, to develop able teachers so that the able teacher can produce more better citizen for Sri Lanka. So this is a very big opportunity, a very big idea, a very big vision that Mr. Janaka Kamal Goda has in his mind. So having a part of this, for me to be a part of this is again another wonderful opportunity. So thank you, Mr. Janaka Kamal Goda, and thank you for conducting the program, Shiromi ji. And I hope, as I spoke to Mr. Janaka Kamal Goda a couple of while ago and was saying that they are under curfew right now, and a lot of things have been stopped at the moment. The same thing is happening in Nepal. Nepal has also undergone second wave of COVID. And on top of that, it's very critical for small children. So all the schools at the moment, all the universities, colleges, and campuses in Nepal is also, I mean, it's their door have been closed, but not actually, but the teachers have been working very, very hard from their home and approaching to all the students from their home through online and through internet, through different internet applications. So this has created a wonderful opportunity for the teachers to reach out to our students in Nepal as well. I hope this pandemic will go soon and all of us can again go back to our regular type of classes, physical classes that we used to have, because that was the moment then that I think that the teachers also enjoyed teaching a lot. And that was the moment I think even students liked coming to meet the teacher or meet their friends or learn with fun, with activity through using their hands, feet, and everything. So I hope that day will come soon. So without wasting any other time, I'd like to go back to my topic and subject, which is work ethics given to me. So I'd like to share this screen with everyone. I have made a very short presentation. And I hope that my presentation is not that boring. I tried to make it more colorful because this gives another vibe to our teacher students, that the more color you use, the more colorful things that you have, the more colorful ideas that you have, it's really going to work and it's going to cherish our small kids. Okay, so having said this, my title for today's presentation is work ethics, and I have categorized this work ethics into another subheading, which is good and smart teacher, how to be a good and a smart teacher. So here I'd like to say that goodness and smartness should be, it should be the quality, it should be the very essence of the teacher. Otherwise a teacher is like a hollow thing. If the goodness and smartness is not there within a teacher, I think teacher cannot be a teacher. So goodness and smartness is one of the character that that is a necessity for having a teacher. That is why a teacher should have this very true essence of goodness and smartness. So I'd like to define goodness first as having a high standard and quality. Means in terms of character, in terms of morality, in terms of ideology, in terms of thoughtfulness. So everything needs to be good. Good itself is a positive word, so it should have all the synonymical positive word that defines goodness within a person. So smartness, in the other hand, uh, is the complementary to goodness, because goodness itself is not a complete character, because a person should have both the aspect good and smart. So if the teacher is good, it's okay, he's going to work or she is going to work. But if the good teacher does not have the essence of smartness, then the perfection does not show up or does not exist. So smartness is another essence that the teacher should carry along. So smartness means having a quick-witted intelligence according to the time and duration. And another thing is also smartness means high degree of mental ability, or he or she should think in a way differently than the other teacher does. Okay, then only the person is considered to be a good and smart teacher. So smartness also means a teacher who can really act on certain time. For example, at this moment of pandemic, so all the physical classes have been converted into uh, online classes. There are no real children, there are no real classrooms. So accordingly, how we can approach to the students who really who are really sitting in front of the other hand of the screen. So the way the teacher does teaching and learning in a very practical way, or the real time way, or to really touch the heart of the children through online classes, then that teacher is considered to have the higher degree of smartness. So at this moment, we need a good and smart teachers. So let us go to work ethics, because my presentation revolves around actually work ethic itself. Good and smartness is something that is the essence of the good teacher, a very smart teacher. And work ethics is further I have dissected into two types, because all of us are born, we have a certain culture, we come from certain socioeconomic culture, social culture, and then we are brought up in different ways in our own family, from school, from our community. So all of us are different in a lot of ways. So work ethic refers to an inner motivation to do one's work well, a sense of responsibility to one's work. So work ethic means something that if I am into certain things, my inner motivation, inner motivation is really going to trigger my outcome. So work ethics refer to the way a person's moral or ethical value influences his or her work, meaning that the ethics refers to the way a person's moral or ethical values influences his or her work. So more or less it seems the same, but work ethic means something that comes from your inner heart, and work ethics refers to once someone's moral values or ethical values influences his or her work. So how both of these are interrelated with each other? Relationship between work ethic and work ethics. So in my opinion, I have put up this two things together here, work ethics and work ethic. So number one, one's work ethics can influence one's work ethic, meaning that the way he thinks, the way he behaves, the way he has the ability is within one's heart. Okay, so when that type of person has a certain ideology, is working, means that ethics is going to show up while he is working somewhere at his workplace. So but also affect other things, such as one's willingness to be selfish or responsible. So his inner work ethics is really going to affect his work, and when he or she is working in a field, then it's going to show it. So the inner motivation can be affected if the person's moral or ethical values degrades. So in a general sense, being a teacher are the general motivator of the society. We are the lighthouse of the society. And not only this, there are a lot of parents who are really looking towards the face of the teacher, so that they are the ones who's going to mold their child's future. So I think we should have that uh, strong moral and value-based ethics. Then only we can really motivate our children. Otherwise, if someone is just doing it's just faking the raw smile, or just doing things that actually he's not inside his heart, then it's really going to affect his work as a whole. So inner motivation is very, very important. So having said inner motivation, which is the part of one's uh, own ethic, affects the whole work that he's going to do in his professional. It's going to affect his professional ethics as well. So I have also dissected personal ethics and professional ethics also. So personal ethics refer to an individual's belief and value in any area of life. So anything that they are going to learn, value-based learning or moral beliefs, they are going to take it from their parents, especially. And what we call in Nepali, it's saskar, and it's in Indian also, it's saskar, I think. I hope you understand. Saskar is something that we inherit from our parents. We inherit from our forefathers. We inherit from our family members. So this saskar is something that if one is born with proper saskar, then he or she is going to have a very strong moral and characters. So that's why personal ethics refer to an individual's belief and value in any area of life. For example, if someone finds a wallet on the ground, what he or she do at the moment? Will she pick up the wallet and keep it inside his or her own wallet, or check whether there are money inside it? Or is he going to look around and find a person who has just dropped the wallet? So it depends upon person to person, how he or she has been brought up inside the family. So professional ethics, on the other hand, refers to the person's value within the workplace, how well organized he is, how careful he is at presentation, how tactfully he is going to overcome certain problem if there is inside the organization. So these are the characters that a person who has a very good professional ethics, she really shows at his or her workplace. For example, if the teacher is sick, for example, I know all of you are student teachers, students, sorry, and then I think it is becomes a morality for all of us that whenever we choose any profession, we have to be very honest towards it. And for example, I put here one example: if the teacher is sick, the lost classes must be compensated anyhow. So how you're going to do it, it's up to you, up to us, how we are going to do it. But if the teacher is sick, uh, if the teacher has a very don't have any ethics towards teaching or anything like that, he or she is never going to compensate the classes which he or she has lost while he or she was sick, isn't it? So that's why for a good etiquette, the teacher with good ethics always know the value of time, value of teaching and learning. So they are going to give utmost priority for the lost classes that and he has not done, and he or she is always going to prioritize upon compensating those classes anyhow. So my next slide is a relationship between ethics and professional ethics. So here, since there is a lot of commitment between these two words, if I have a better professional, personal ethics, then it's going to show where I'm going to work, isn't it? So it's both these things are interrelated with each other, personal and professional ethics, and it is reciprocal to each other as well, because personal ethics are the base of professional ethics. If a child is not given a proper environment to foster a proper environment for education, growth, and learning and teaching, then later on it's going to affect that child a lot. Whenever he or she is going to go to the professional level, become adult and work for others, it's going to show here and there, and it's going to show things. If the child is neglected whenever he or she was young, then that negligency behavior is shown somewhere else. That is the reason why whenever we are involved in teaching young kids at very young age, toddlers below 5 years of age and below 6 years of age, we have to be very careful. We have to have that soft heartedness inside us. That value needs to be there so that we can embed the same value, happiness, emotional, all those things inside the child, so that a child is going to learn in a very good environment and is going to be a soft-hearted person. And the person should be, of course, good, and should have both the qualities of goodness and smartness. So here, for example, when the child is born, for example, a child is a boy, he is affected, he learns a lot of things from his family, then he goes to the school, and school he's going to learn a lot of things from his school, and then once he is in his adulthood, he's going to represent in his society, and also plays an important role in developing a personal ethical and moral values among the youth of today, which later reflects in workplace. That means whoever we are teaching right now, they may be very small right now, isn't it? But then later on, once they grow old, they are really going to be a person who is going to be a better person with a good personal, ethical, and moral values, and are going to run the whole country one day. So in that way, we have to teach that small child right now at the very moment. For example, so whenever we are talking, since we are especially dealing with the teacher-student right now, so all this value that is based within us, embedded within us. For example, if we are working for example, if we are working in a school, and then there are a couple of students playing in the playground, and one child falls down, is it, being a teacher, isn't it my responsibility to help the child to get up? Okay, so how you're going to see to that situation, the whole scenario? The child just fell down, and what is your reaction? Okay, if the child falls down, how do you react? Okay, number one, do you react automatically and run towards the child automatically without thinking, without wasting any time? Okay, do you really go automatically and help that child, or do you think first? And then you react? There's a lot of difference between these two situations. Or second time, do you think and react because it is your duty or somebody is watching? So there is two difference. If you really go and react automatically without anything, that is considered to have a goodness and smartness within that teacher. But if you think and react, then there is something there. The ethics are a little bit low in those kind of teachers, because they are going to help the child. Of course, they are going to help the child, but keeping in mind that, okay, this is my duty, I need to help the child. Okay, if what my superior is watching, or if the principal is watching me, so I might be in the I might be taken as a not so good teacher. Okay, so if you react without thinking, then if you go to help automatically to a child, then that is the quality of a good and smart teacher. But if you think and then react, then there is something wrong with the teacher, and you need to change the profession. That's my example, a very small example, but it has a lot of meaning into it. Okay, and then while taking any profession, I think it is a lot of time you have, since you all have already taken this as a profession, and also doing a lot of study regarding being a good teacher in the future. So I think all of you must be soft-hearted. Okay, soft-hearted are the people who really want to give service without looking upon any return or any compensation or any profit, isn't it? So If you have a soft-hearted heart, then obviously you have chosen this field as a teacher, and especially teaching kindergarten children below 6 years of age group, infants, is not a joke. It's a very big, very, very big responsibility. So having this responsibility, we also need to have that mindfulness that, okay, I'm here to serve these kids. I'm here to build a proper citizen for my country. Okay, so that is something that everyone should have in your mindset. Otherwise, it will be very, very difficult to further take this profession as a teacher. So otherwise, if you don't have a soft heart, if you are very rude, if you don't have the habit of helping others, then I think you would choose something other profession like boxing or being in our army, because those are the profession that don't need soft heartedness. What do you call empathy? Empathy is something, a strong word, because empathy is a word that really uh, it's a character of a person that really understand other people's situation, being in his own place, isn't it? So I think being empathy and being soft hearted is one of the important weapon of all the teachers, because if you have soft hearted, then only we can get along with our small children. So soft-hearted also means that you are very understandable. Soft-hearted also means that you understand and intermingle with small kids in a easy way. And also soft-hearted is, for example, a teacher might give an extra day or so to complete the project if the child has not finished his project on time. So these are some of the examples of being a quality of a teacher of soft-heartedness. And let us go towards example of positive ethics, since we are talking about a lot of things like ethics, personal ethics, professional ethics, and uh, other things like work ethic and work ethics. So example of because ethics itself is a kind of a word that really uh, give out a proper meaning towards positiveness, progress, growth, development, and all these things. So that's what some of the positive ethics for me, as far as I have written here in your screen. It's honesty, and another is loyalty, integrity, respect, selflessness, and responsibility. And this positive ethics is something that all the teachers should have, because without this, it becomes impossible for any teacher to be a teacher anyways and work with the small children. So honesty is, many people view honesty as an important ethic. This ethic transfers from the individual's personal life into their professional life and ensures they are truthful in all scenarios. If you're honest with your profession. If you're honest with your superiors, your principals, your monitors, or whoever you are working with, and you're also honest with your colleagues, and also you're honest with the teachers, your colleague teachers, and parents, as well as the whole school authority. So honesty is one of the essential weapon of being a good teacher, good and smart teacher. Loyalty is another strong word, and loyalty is something that, you can't go against your school policy. For loyalty is something that you're loyal with your children, isn't it? The way children look at you and the way you look at your children, there has to be a loyal relationship between both the teacher and the students. Loyalty is another common personal ethic, and that many professionals share, not only in school but any professional or any business houses, any institution. Loyalty is something that is a necessary asset. People who have a personal ethic of loyalty demonstrates trustworthiness and fidelity in all of their dealings, and can be trusted by others to maintain the loyal behavior no matter the situation. What will happen is, since I worked in my school, what I feel is, if anyone from the outside is talking bad about my school, I feel really angry. I feel really bad about it. And I always defend, because I'm loyal to my school. I'm loyal towards my chairperson. I'm loyal towards my board members, isn't it? So that is called loyalty. So integrity is another strong word that teachers should have within themselves. Integrity refers to person's commitment to uphold or their moral principles in any situation, and is an important component of trustworthy and sound relationship, both in terms of work and in terms of doing or showing any type of work. So integrity is also very important. People with integrity are reliable, responsible, and hold themselves accountable for their actions. So whenever I'm working somewhere, I should be responsible towards my action. If it goes wrong, if it's mistake, you need to say I'm sorry and walk away and learn from the mistake. So that is called integrity. So this quality is something that all the teachers should have, because humans are the one that who can, make lot of have shown a lot of progress in history, and we will be making a lot of progress in the future as well. But until unless we don't make mistake, we can't move ahead. So we have to have that quality called integrity, so that we can work with the mistakes, not really say mistakes, but kaizening means another word for doing things in a better way. Doing things in a better way, in a more productive way, in a more efficient way, is the one of the quality. Only with the integrity that the people can move ahead. Respect, another word is respect. So until unless I have respect, if the teacher don't have respect towards the elders, elder teachers, also the elder teacher, senior teachers, or principal, chairperson of the school, or to the colleagues as well, because colleagues also should have respect towards each other. And respect is also very important, because small children are also the future citizens. So we should have respect towards the small citizens as well. So it's if you have respect, then you can move ahead. Otherwise, respect is something that if you give respect, you get one, something like that. Okay, selfishness, another selflessness is something that you do something without uh, keeping in mind that you get something back. Okay, so people who are selfless put others first and do not act in selfish or self-serving ways. They consider the needs and situation of others and prioritize their needs before their own. So selflessness is something putting others ahead of you, because selfish people always think about themselves. So I think teachers are the one who should think about others rather than themselves. So I think they should always put students first in teaching and learning process. Responsibility, another last word is responsibility. Someone with a very strong moral code is willing to take responsibility for their actions and make changes or make amends when necessary. So responsibility is, for example, if you're given certain responsibility, you have to do with 100%. But if time and situation demands, we might have to give 110% or more than that. So I think we should be ready enough to fulfill our responsibility, irrespective of time limit, irrespective of situation. So that is how teachers should be prepared for to have a to show or to have a positive ethics. So these six, one, two, three, four, seven ethics, positive ethics examples are very, very important for the teachers to move ahead. So similarly, these are some of the examples, but then there are traits, meaning characters of positive ethics. So how this you are going to show, how you are going to show it to the other people. So it's number one is appearance. So appearance is something that is very, very important, that you have to, whenever you are in a working environment, you have to have that kind of attire wearing. Otherwise, it doesn't look nice. So whenever we go to a restaurant, the waiters have different attires, and the person who gives, who sits in the bar have different attire. So that is a kind of a giving a sense and a vibe to the people that, okay, I'm under work and I'm ready to do anything. I'm ready to serve, and I'm going to ready to for service. So even for the teachers, I think they should be ready with their appearance all the time. So in such a way that the the teachers, colleagues, not only teacher and colleagues, exactly know your appearance. Okay, you are ready for your work. And similarly for the children, they exactly know once they see their teacher, I'm ready for work. I'm ready to render the service, and I'm going to intermingle with them in the teaching and learning process. So appearance is very, very important. Attendance is very important, another big factor, because And for the attendance to be a first class, all the teachers need to be healthy, and they have to eat right, and then they don't fall sick. And falling sick is another problem for the teachers, because that is the way he himself is again getting sick all the time. But then at the same time, you also have to keep in mind that there are many children waiting in the classroom for the teacher to arrive and teach them, isn't it? So keeping in mind those things, I think teachers need to eat right, do a lot of exercise, and then be regular in their classes. Attitude. So attitude is something, it can be negative and positive, but we are always talking about the positive vibe, positive attitude, positive things and everything. So attitude should be always positive, no matter what problem you are under or what problem you have at family. It should keep aside. You should keep them aside, and we should always stand on the feet together with wearing a big smile. That is having a good attitude with their colleagues, having a good attitude with the children. So that is how we're going to be exemplar to our colleagues, exemplar to our students. Character is something that takes millions seconds and hours to build, whereas it takes less than a moment when it drops down. So I think character for all the teachers, being a teacher, I already told you, teachers are the lighthouse of the society. So having that profession as a teacher, so all the teachers must have that character, because until unless you don't have a very strong moral behavior and character, it is less expected for others to have that kind of respect given towards you. So character is very important. Having that positive attitudes is important. Communication is a skill, actually. So it's an ability of a person, how well or how smartly he or she is going to deliver what he or she wants to convey to the audience. So having a teacher, because teacher is something that is really going to mold and teach children to be a better person. So I think better communication is very important. Sometimes the communication needs to be done in such a way the level of students can understand. You can't use a very heavy words while communicating with the students, because they don't understand some of the words you are saying, some of the sentences you are saying. So I think communication should be, if you are communicating with a 2 years old, you have to communicate with the same words and sentences that the 2 years old uses. If you're communicating with the 14 years old, then you have to use the same phrases, words, and sentences that a 14 years old uses. So the communication is a very strong tool. And if your communication is very good, you can really penetrate into their heart and mind, and can really make them into a better person. Cooperation is another quality. It's one of the biggest characteristic that a teacher should have. Cooperation is something that a person really cooperates with everything. Like, for example, from delivering a small thing, small context to the students, also delivering a certain report to our superiors, for the teachers. So I think that kind of cooperation, that is working as a middleman, who is also teaching the students, who is also working with their colleagues, and also reporting to the superiors or principals. I think we should work in such a way that we must cooperate with each other in order to work for the overall goal. So organized skill is one of the most important character of positive ethics. I mean, whenever we are going to take a class for our teachers here, I think all of you need to prepare ahead. You have to make a plan. You have to organize lot of activity charts. You have to organize lot of plans in order to implement, so that if there has to be a lot of plans, A, B, and C. If A is not going to work, let's go for B, or B is not going to go, let's go for C. So there has to be a set of plans that everyone should be ready before starting any classes. Productivity is, whenever we are doing anything with our classes, I think let's be goal oriented. Let's be to the point. So what I'm going to teach today, so suppose today our teachers are teaching, suppose, let's say, addition. So what are the activity that you are going to do inside the class? What are the tools that you are going to show physically to the students, so they are going to better understand concept of addition. So that way, the class becomes very productive. And whenever we are working towards goal, I think it should be more productive. Then only we can really uphold the goal. And another thing is respect. Respect has already come in the previous this thing also, where I've discussed upon the example of positive ethics. Respect is something that we need to give in order to take it. So respect is not that you just give, and also we cannot be expecting all the time. So respect is always to give only. So do not expect that the other person is going to give the similar kind of respect. It's up to him or her. So I think respect should be given to the children that you teach them. Respect should be given to your elders, elder teachers, senior teachers, and uh, to the superior of the school. And similarly, one of the most powerful word is teamwork. Anything that is done alone is not a successful one. So whenever we are talking about any sustainable development, whenever we are talking about sustainable development goals, without teamwork, we can't do anything. So even in school, it's not the teacher who is going to run the school. It's not the children who is going to run the school. It's not the let's say the one who put the money in the school, who runs the school, is going to run the school. Or it's not the superiors or the principal that's going to run the school. Actually, it's a teamwork. So having said it's a teamwork, everybody needs to be responsible for whatever roles they have been given, whatever goals that they have to put upon. That's the reason why, if the teamwork is going to be strong, then it's really going to be successful one. It's really going to be sustainable. And the sustainable education is, the wholesome sustainable education is based upon the teamwork. So how do you really identify your work ethics? So since all of our are already teachers, students here, and since you have already chosen this profession, I think there are some simple 3 rules that everyone need to categorize in order to identify your work ethics. All of you must have already chosen this, so that you really want to work for your country, you really want to upgrade the educational quality of your country, or really want to work for the students to be a better person who can who can uplift their community later on. So there are simple 3 points I have listed out here. Number 1 is to get clear on your priorities. So what are my priorities, what I'm going to work upon, how I'm going to do it. It's like setting up of goals, and knowing what means the most to you can help you determine your personal set of ethics. For example, if you regularly put others first, you are likely to have a personal ethics of selflessness. Make a list of your personal priorities in life and see if you can connect each priorities with a unique ethic. So if you really are working with this little kids, you have to give lot of time to them. So you cannot compromise on the time for other things. You have to give lot of time with the kids so that they can better understand and learn more. Second one is write down your goals. So how can we be really identify our work ethics is, what do I want after 1 year? What do I want to do after 2 years? Or what do I want to do after 5 years? So it is up to us. So having a concrete idea of your personal and professional goals will help you establish your unique ethics. So I'm going to work for that goal means I should have that kind of, and on the way of achieving those goals, we also establish our unique ethics. For example, if your goals is to obtain honesty and integrity in everything you do, these are likely 2 of your personal ethics. So probably you'll have a you'll develop honesty with the institution, or you'll have integrity towards your profession. Number 3 is consider your practices and beliefs. So what we do, I think we must practice what we preach. Okay, consider your practices and belief means also that whatever we have a belief in our mind, so I think we keep on practicing that we can perfect our practices and belief as well. So what you believe in and things you practice would shed light on your unique ethics. For example, if you believe that one should be willing to take responsibility of the actions, no matter what the situation is, you are likely to have the responsibility as a professional, personal ethic. So having a strong belief also drives your ethics, work ethics. So coming to an end, I have also categorized how to be a good teacher and how to be a smart teacher. So there are two things, but I've already told you teacher needs to have this both characteristic, goodness and smartness. Without this, it is not possible to be uh, a, a good ethics being a teacher. So with this, having a good teacher means having a very high standard and quality in teaching, means the teacher should have or possess and have all the ability to be a good teacher. For example, some of them I have put it down here in the screen. To have extremely skilled communication skills, means whenever we are delivering something, we have to be precise to the content, and our delivery must be such that our children can understand whatever we are delivering. Another point is superior listening skills, means whenever the children are asking any question, we should have that ability to listen, because listening also tells us the ability of the child and the level of a child till where he or she has understood. And until unless we don't understand our child, we cannot do the teaching and learning inside the classroom. So the teacher should have, number 2 point is superior listening skills. That is one of the quality of a good teacher. Third one, the teacher should have a deep knowledge and passion for their subject matter. Suppose I'm teaching environmental education, for example. So I should know all the current affairs regarding environment around the world. And not only this, especially in my country, what are the environmental news that's happening at this moment? Is it raining very heavily at this moment? Is the humidity high? Okay, everything. I have to know all the nitty-gritty things that is necessary. That is called deep learning and deep knowledge, and I should have passion towards it. And until unless I don't have passion towards it, it becomes very difficult to convince our students. Okay, these are the things. You cannot teach the students nowadays through the book. You have to really know their knowledge, the level of knowledge they have, and then you have to deliver the teaching and learning process. That is the idea that teachers should have nowadays. Another point, ability to build caring relationship with students. This is something to do with empathy. And until unless a teacher doesn't understand someone else's feelings or situation, we can't teach them, because we can't win their confidence in order to be their friend and teach them. Next point is friendliness and approachability, meaning that if I have a very strict character, if I have a very rude face, if I always make my face, or my face is always, always, what do you call, it's always frowning all the time, and it's very sad all the time. So I don't think any students would want to ask any question to me. I don't know if any students want to learn with me. I don't know if any children would want to, attend my class. So that's the question that arises when, if I'm not friendly, if I'm not, I have put that invisible shield so that I don't want any children coming near to me. So these are some of the quality. Friendliness and approachability is something that the teacher should have. We should be able to be very friendly, come down to their knees and talk to them, and be very approachable and easy accessible to the children. Whenever, even if we're eating, having lunch, we can talk with each other, we can say hi, even if not only inside the classroom, but if you meet outside in the shopping mall, at least children, if they think that I'm friendly, they would come to me and say, good afternoon, ma'am, good morning, ma'am, or good evening, ma'am. I think that kind of situation a teacher should create. Another point is excellent preparation and organization skill is a quality of a good teacher, because good teacher uh, is always stands on its feet, and it has very good preparation ahead, because he or she is prepared ahead. That's the reason why the class delivery becomes smooth, and similarly it shows that his organization skills are also at a top level. And the most important thing is exemplar. meaning that we should be an example or role model for all the children, because these are the children who are going to remember us later on throughout their life. And they're going to remember us, okay, this ma'am taught us science, this ma'am taught us, for example, maths. And they are not going to forget the way you taught them long time back, and they're still going to remember your name no matter what. So I think exemplar is something that we must be, and we should do things that they take in they absorb very easily. So how to be a smart teacher? Smart teacher is something that a good teacher should have another character called smart teacher, and combination of good and smart teacher is a perfect teacher. Perfect teacher. So number one, for being a smart teacher, I have put real world learning, meaning that real world learning is in terms of situation like today's, what is happening due to pandemic. And until we had pandemic, no one had any idea how to approach children. And there were a couple of months here in Nepal after pandemic were happened, and school closed all of a sudden, and none of the school institution knew how to reach out to the students, and it was total, schools were closed and students were back home not doing any education. The academic session has already started and we don't know how to reach out to the student. And all of a sudden it was a moment when everybody knew how to operate computer, everybody knew how to access to the internet and how to operate Zoom in order to have online classes. So now the world is different. So real world learning meaning is actually in the same way, the example that I've given it. It also means that changing the trend of an education according to the time and situation. And it also means that by gaining immersive experiences, like for example, when the child is a 14, 15 and 16 years above, when they're studying in the colleges. So I think it becomes a high time that they should be getting ready for the adulthood, for serving the country. So I think the real world projects, real world internship, real world way of navigating into the future should be something that is what we call project-based learning. These are the things that they should be taught at a very young age, so that they can really handle when they grow into the adulthood, from the adolescence, and they are going to work effectively in their adulthood. What I have written here is real world learning. Second one is handle software tools for learning and teaching. This is something I think all the teachers have to have this skill. Otherwise, they are just good and without any smartness. So smartness is something it is an extra. It's kind of a icing on the cake. So handle software tools and learning and teaching is something that all the teachers should acquire such kind of knowledge, because without the knowledge of IT software, this coming world is not for such kind of teachers. That is my justification. Okay, another is fun and energetic. So whether we call it to physical learning, whether we call it to online learning, until unless we are not fun, until unless we don't have that kind of energy while teaching, if we are always with a lethargic moment, with always frowning face, I don't think any children would want to attend such kind of online class. So anytime we need, let us do fun activity, let us do song or music in between, let's do rhyme for you all. For small kids, let's do rhyme, let's sing a song, let's play fill in the blanks, let's play some online games. So that is how you're going to approach to the students, and let's make them energetic. If they are energetic, you become energetic. So another point is be up to date, because today's kids have everything in their finger. That is what we call in one click through internet, they know everything. So before you ask any question, they already know the answer. So I think being a teacher, I think we should be up to date for what's happening nowadays. And nowadays students of China at class 1 are learning coding. You can just imagine that the coding at class 1, it is not possible in my country. But then there are always expectation, there are always there are things that we can do at our own level with our local tools, I think. So there are certain things so we can do it on own level, and let's be up to date so that we can compete our children with the international children later on. And another point is take risk. Taking risk is something only the smart teacher can do it, because to know the capacity of the child, then only teachers know that okay, let's take risk of so and so, and let's teach him this. Okay, so smart teacher should be always ready to take risk. If other teachers does it by ABC, means the smart teacher needs to do in other way around. Okay, they cannot do the same way of teaching ABCD, but other teachers can do it in the other way around. And let's be a smart teacher by showing that taking risk is always not disadvantage, it's an advantageous point for teaching children. And last and not the least, it's the very simple word is called being creative. And be creative. Creative is something that is really enhances the quality of the teacher, and it is one of the asset of a smart teacher. If you are creative, if you can really show a lot of things through your creativity, like art and craft work, like doing by making a lot of playful activity for the kids, or making puzzles on your own. So if you are creative, the children also understand that okay, this teacher is very creative, he or she is going to come in my class with lot of tools, teaching tools always, so I'm going to be very energetic to participate in his or her class. So if you are creative, then the students also feel that okay, I really want to learn with this teacher, she's always coming up with the new things all the time, so let's see what is she bringing in my next class. So being creative is another way of another character of a smart teacher. So having said this, I'd like to conclude my today's small presentation. And being a smart and good teacher is an asset of a perfect teacher. And being good is incomplete, and being smart is also incomplete. And if the teacher have both the qualities, then one day the children are going to remember all of us later on in their life, and they're going to say that these are the teachers, my teacher changed my and fulfilled my destiny. That's what they are going to say. And also they might say that I owe my success to my teacher, or later on also they might say my teacher is my inspiration. So for all these words and phrases that they are going to talk about the teacher, say about the teacher, is going to be a motivation for the teachers. By saying this, I'd like to conclude my small presentation. It's a wonderful opportunity. So if you have any question, please you can put up your question. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss. It's wonderful. I think nowadays, because we are having like a virtual school, your positive ethics are very, very important to us. How we present in front of children, and how we plan our lessons and everything. Uh, yes, it's a wonderful experience listening to you, Miss. The virtual school, Miss, we find it very difficult because most of the parents, they don't know how to operate the computers. And as teachers, we are here and we are seeing our children in front of the camera. So as teachers, I think we should give instructions to the parents, maybe have a meeting or whatever. And so in my school, that is what we normally do. We send all the lessons and everything day before, for them to like be prepared, and so that they'll be ready. So we are, I mean, all the time we are on WhatsApp, and we like teach the parents also how to like handle things and everything. So that's the way anyhow we'll have to manage for these another few years, I think.
Definitely, yes. Nishan, Salaji, and Shiromi ji, I think your concern towards parents' involvement at this moment is so true, even in Nepal. It's really difficult to convince in the first beginning last year, since we started our online class last year. In the beginning, it was difficult to convince our parents first. And then after having them convinced, it was difficult for them to teach as to how to operate online classes and how to follow online classes. But last year we faced a lot of challenge with a lot of parents, but this year it has become a little bit easy. And now more than parents, I think students understand how to operate Zoom software and how to, we do use a school app also, and we do a lot of submission of work, project work through school app. And then nowadays, more than parents, I think students know how to operate the school apps. So here also, I think we need you need to include parental collaboration. That is a must, and parents should understand the hour of teaching and learning as well through online classes. And I think all the institutions around the world should respect parents for their culture and their time for what they have been devoting to their kids. And also, it's sometimes it becomes necessity for the awareness of the parents as well, education program for the parents as well. And if it is needed, and if the school feels that it should be delivered to the parents for teaching them as to how online classes goes on, as to how the at least an orientation class in the beginning of the session, that would be a lot of help to the parents, and parents would get involved accordingly in the teaching and learning process. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Miss. Sir Kamalgode, is there anything we should include? Or shall I just... Sir Kamalgode?
Actually, it's a wonderful opportunity, Shiromi ji. And not only this, I get to learn a lot of things from Sri Lankan teacher as well, because Nepal is a landlocked country and it's between China and India. And then there are a lot of things that, you know, this pandemic has COVID world, let's say COVID world has given a lot of opportunity for us, because you all are in Sri Lanka right now and I am in Nepal, and how easily we have been connected through internet and how easy it has become for us to connect and learn from each other. So that is a kind of opportunity for the children as well. So that is how children are benefiting as well at the moment.
Yes, Miss. Yeah, definitely. Sir Kamalgode, how are we going to do now? Okay, Miss. Miss Surina Gurung, the principal of Galaxy Public School of Nepal. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for giving this wonderful lecture on work ethics. I think it's very, very important to us as teachers. And I wish to thank Sir Janaka Kamalgode, South Asian International School, for organizing this special event. Thank you very much, everyone.